Hi, my name's Butch Hartman, owner and operator of Bitch and Ink Designs. You can find me on my website at www.bitchandinkdesigns.com. What's up, friends? So, remember back in the day with public broadcast television? I remember back in my time, there was a guy, Ron Peterson. He was a local furniture business, and he would have, his TV ads pop up on the weekends or during the week or whatever, for whatever sale, and they had like a high and tight, haircut and just kind of old school. And during that, they would drop the phone number down the lower screen, and their locations and yada, yada, yada. And this was back when traditional advertising was a thing, and it was big for small businesses. But as we've grown and evolved, and with the introduction of internet and, now like smartphones and all that, it's kind of changed the game for all small businesses, really. Like the traditional way of advertising has gone the way of the dodo. So we rely heavily on social media. And with that has grown businesses, exponentially. And it's really made small business kind of thrive. Also with that, though, there has been new ways for people to scam, running all sorts of different scams. And today we're going to kind of talk about what to look for on the client side and also the business side. So, start if you are a potential client and you're scouring, like Facebook or Instagram. There has been several scams that look legitimate but are not. And if you're in my shoes, along with other of my peers that own a small business that operate self-employed, they're rather easy to spot because our images and all that is being used to create these fake profiles. So what do you look for in a fake profile? Well, it's rather easy. They're all kind of set up the same. Now with Instagram, it's usually a whole bunch of images, brought up on a page, and the titles always say, DM for, affordable prices. And they'll always have, like PayPal, friends and family, Zelle, this, that, and the other thing. And they'll never have a website on there. They'll never have an email on there. And they'll always have maybe a WhatsApp number. None of the images on their page are fluid or they have any sort of relevance to each other. They're always kind of different, different styles and whatnot. And that's just a dead giveaway. So they're really easy to spot, at least for me. Obviously I deal with them for a little while, but for people who aren't really savvy about these things, it's kind of confusing. So they always say DM for great price on logo, fast, easy turnaround. That's a big red flag. They won't have any website. That's another big red flag. They'll always have PayPal only, friends and family, Zelle, other payment methods that won't really protect you as the buyer. They'll always DM you, they'll slide in your DMs. I don't know of any business that's going to actually sit there and DM somebody asking them for business. I'm of the mindset of if your work speaks for itself, people will come to you. I never ask anybody, ever. So there's that. Now, on the Facebook side of things, it gets a little bit trickier because not only do you have Facebook business pages, which I do, you also have other different kinds of pages. You have creators, and then you have private accounts, and you can actually do fake business pages. And I have seen, including myself, pages where they have been cloned, meaning they'll use like a profile picture of the actual person, maybe their name, it might be spelled a little bit different, it might be they'll use like various different pictures, you know, some mostly of the person they're cloning and some other ones, you know. I'll post examples up to look for. But almost all of those, like, they're all like digital creator or graphic designer. It's never like, they never have links to a business, to the actual business page. They'll never have links to a web page. They'll never have links to an email account, and other those things, you know. So it gets a little tricky, but you have to really slow down and look through the whole profile. And if you look far enough, sometimes they're so lazy that they'll actually have different profile pictures of different people and different artwork. So these are things to kind of look for. Hover around within groups. Now, if you're an artist, you know about these Facebook groups, you know, and other people do. They're all over the place for everything. And within the art realm, there's so many different art groups. And within those groups, some of them are private, some of them are public, some of them ask questions before they can even be approved within the groups. I'll get to that on the business side of things for people running stuff, but as a client, be wary going into these things, because a lot of admins and moderators aren't as aggressive with potential scams as some others. Like, they're just some retired dude that just wants to have some fun and thought it'd be great to post some great pictures within a group and just allow everybody in. That's a real problem for you, the buyer, because it allows these other entities to come in and just start, you know, DMing people. That's another thing. Like, they'll always ask, you know, hey, can I DM you? Or send me a message for, you know, great fast art, you know, at a cheap rate. So, the Facebook side of things, if you're in there, things to look for is the profile. If they're posting from a private profile, scroll through, see when the date that they created the profile. Most likely it's at a recent date, so within, like, you know, maybe 6 months to a month they'll have created that page. There's not a whole lot of history to it. There may be different photos, not of the same person, might be different people, they might have different styles of artwork on there. Those are things to look for. There are other accounts, though, that have been at idle for years. This doesn't happen very often, but sometimes this happens where they have created this profile, maybe like in 2014, 16, many years ago. It sits idle, and while they're creating like other recent profiles that sit there and make fake pages, they'll have these other profiles on idle. So if those ones get deactivated, they'll activate these ones and then start the whole process over again. Again, you want to look for links to websites. If they're a legitimate person running a legitimate business and they have a private profile, like myself, I have my business website on there, the link to that. I have the link to my business page as well. But then there's varying styles of artwork on there, or, you know, whatever, like parts, etc. Different backgrounds, you know, like if anybody's legitimate, they have cohesiveness to everything that they do, you know, most of the time. There's no varying styles. There's, you know, like it's very intent. And with the scammers, like, it's just, as I said, they are just kind of grabbing from everybody and everything, making a profile, and then preying on people that don't know any better. If people are running a legitimate business on Facebook, they have a business page. And on that business page, again, there have been clones of other people's business pages, but none of them have the website, none of them have the email, and most of them will have phone numbers on it. Now, here's where that gets tricky. Phone numbers, I don't think, kind of really show legitimacy to any one being. And you talk to them and, you know, you have actual conversations, they're breaking down things or whatever, you know, it's not like, hey, pay me now, give me a credit card, you know, it's nothing like that. Again, with phone numbers, it's very easy, though, for anybody to have a burner phone, which most of these people have burner phones anyways, and they're putting minutes on it. That's how they're able to do, you know, like Instagram pages and Facebook pages relatively easily and quickly. So anybody can have those, but they can also have a Google phone number. Now, I myself, I do have a Google phone number on my business page. That is because I don't have a business line. I just don't want to pay for it. I'm sorry, I'm lazy. But I do have a Google number on the website or on my business page. That way people can contact me if they want to. And if need be, you know, they want to go forward with business and they want to get a piece done or whatever, I will probably give them my actual phone number. The reason that I don't do that is because I want to put as little personal information out there as possible. Because again, like identity theft, and if you're like posting everything on your personal page and everything, it's really easy to start gathering information for these people to turn around and like clone you. You know, like identity theft's a real thing, and people need to be a lot smarter when you're posting stuff out on the wide world web. So whether it be Facebook or Instagram, a way to look at legitimate people is they will always have a website. That's if they're doing it for a living. Now, I understand there are people that do it on the side and side hustle. That is at your discretion. You know, if you want to trust people like that, and I'm not picking on them, I personally, like, I've set everything up so I can have people comfortable when they come talk to me. Like, the whole reason I have a website up is I actually want you to be funneled to there so you can see information and everything. I have my contact info on there. You know, you can email me. You can see all of my prices and options. You can actually see my gallery. You know, like, really take the time if you want work done by anybody, any small business, and it's online. You want to take the time to vet these people, and a lot of these people have websites for a reason. That is for you. That's not just to be lazy and direct you to everything because they don't want to talk to you. Yes, they are busy, but they also have all this stuff laid out for you for a reason. So you can sit there and scroll through it, look at all the options, look at all the information. That way you can have a better understanding prior to talking to anybody. Services that you want or products you want, you know, like, hey, like, I've been looking at this, or I've been curious about this. That way the business owner can sit there and say, oh yes, absolutely, we offer this, that, and the other thing, you know, and there's a fluid conversation. And the other thing with both of these platforms is they're going to post links to their websites on either or. Facebook's pretty straightforward. You only have the link on there. Like, mine's just the link to my website. On Instagram, most people now are kind of transitioning to Linktree, so that has various different links. Like, mine has my website, my YouTube, I believe my Facebook as well. So that's on there. Whereas others, scam pages, they won't have that. So there's just there's all these signs there. You just got to know what to look for. One thing to look for is nothing is going to be cheap, fast, and easy. If you keep falling into that trap, that is on you. That is not on us, the business owners. I know I am backlogged about 4 to 5 months, possibly even 6, and that seems to be the case. That seems to be the case like over the last several years. That's just the way it is. If you can't wait, I can totally understand that. But if anybody else is good at what they do, and they're a legitimate business, chances are it's going to be the same scenario with them. They can't sit there and turn it around any quicker than I'm going to be able to. It just depends on the individual's workloads, what they're doing, so we're only, most of us, we're only one man shows, and it's just the way it is. It is what it is, quite honestly. So if you're that impatient and you keep falling into these traps of cheap, fast, and easy, again, that is on you. That is not on us, the business. And one thing to add with that is it's in concern with deposits. I don't know of anybody that will do work nowadays and not take a deposit, at least half or even full amounts. Now, in conjunction with wait times, I can understand people's apprehension. I've been confronted like, well, how can you take people's half-down deposit and sit on it for, 5 months? And, my response is, like, I gotta keep the lights on. I gotta eat and I gotta pay bills too. If my business isn't the same as your business. So if you were in my shoes, to continue this, you would have to take deposits. Otherwise, you just wouldn't be doing it. Like, every artist that I know, they have to take deposits, not only to eat, pay the bills and all this other things in the household, but also just to keep, doing what they're doing. And that's another reality. And if people don't like that, I can understand that. But at the same time, you're probably going to run into everybody else that's in the same shoes. As far as like this goes, All right, now, which brings me to the business side of things. So if you are getting into this or you're already in this, you probably know a lot of this already. So if you're a business, you definitely want to invest in yourself. Even if you're self-employed, like an artist like myself, you want to show legitimacy as much as you can, especially now. That's why I invest every year in a website. Even though sometimes it seems like it's just pointless, but I would rather funnel people there so they can have a better understanding of what I'm providing, and also, again, to show legitimacy. No scam page is going to sit there and pay $300 a year to sit there and run a business page, and especially pretending to be you, because on a business page or a website, you have to buy your domain name and you have to pay for the subscription yearly, so that's a lot to invest, and that's a lot of time, and that's a lot of time to make everything up on the website. If you're doing it yourself, or even if somebody else is doing it for you, you're still spending the money for it. So that's just one major way to alleviate people's minds when they're coming to you. Another thing is, if you want to have a business line, again, you're going to have it on your website. Not only are you going to have it on your website, you're going to have it on all your media platforms as well. And also interacting with your customers as much as you can, so that way, word of mouth spreads very fastly. I wish good news spread fast as bad news, but that's the world that we live in. But regardless, it still spreads. So as much interaction that you can have with potential clients and customers, whether it be email, text, DMs, or whatever, even phone conversations. Phone conversations, I believe, now are probably going to be the best way. That way you can have dialogue with your clients and potential clients and clients. That way it puts their minds at ease. In fact, I don't really like responding to DMs personally. I don't really like people DMing me. Because I would rather funnel them to my website so they can see everything, and then if they really want to, they can contact me via email. That way then I can give them my phone number if need be, or whatever. That way we can have a more intimate dialogue back and forth with the services or products that I'm providing. And if you're on Facebook, and say, as I mentioned before with the clients, in the groups, if you're participating in groups where you're posting up your work, the chances of somebody cloning all your stuff is very high. They will pick and grab pictures, look at your profile. There's no way to stop that. So if that happens, though, in Facebook at least, there's an option, and I'll post it up here, where you can go to creator settings, and you can actually, if possible, grab the URL of the profile that's impersonating you, copy that, but you can't just go report a problem, because if you report a problem, they don't do anything. I had to learn this secondhand from somebody else. So there's that. And also, you want a screenshot of the profile if possible. If they have you blocked, try and have somebody else within your friends, search it out, grab the URL, and also a screenshot. And that way you can upload it into the report, and it'll get taken down. I've had luck with it a few times now. And now watermarks. Now, I question this a lot. I don't use them, and there's other people that I know that don't use them simply because these scammers will use the images anyways, and then they'll tell people that they work for you. And if those people don't know you, how are they to know? They don't know. So I don't really think watermarks really work. You can try and put your website on there, but if you go to the apps section on your phone and search watermarks, you'll find that there are also watermark removal apps. So that's very disheartening. And everybody's like, watermark your stuff. No, it don't work. Welcome to 2023, and that goes along with your pictures and everything, or even your profile pictures, say the real me, and again, these scammers are using your images to prey on people that don't know you. So if they don't know you and they grab those pictures that you have, say the real me or your watermark stuff, and they're posting it on their page, for people who don't know you, how are they going to know it's the real you? And that's why I go back to, if you do your homework, look for a website, look for legitimate emails, look for legitimate links. Look for legitimate links. Look for the red flags. Nobody's going to DM you asking for work if they're legitimate. Nobody's going to sit there and say, cool, fast, quick logo, without any other information underneath there, like websites or emails. Alright, this one is for the people running groups within Facebook. guys, get your shit together. I'm sorry, but man, I know there's a group that I moderate, and it's set up pretty good, you know, and there's a group of people that try and work it, you know, and granted, dude, scammers are relentless. Literally, it's every day, all day. They're coming into these groups and trying to scam, you know, multiple people. And usually it's the groups that have larger numbers that they go for. They don't go for smaller groups because usually those are set up private and they can't access them. But if it's public and it's a big number, they are trying literally all day, every day. So if you are running a group page, take the appropriate steps. Set up questions that they have to answer. You know, multiple questions. If they don't answer all of those questions, ask them. If they do, and this is the case, they sometimes do answer all the questions correctly. You still kind of have to vet their profile. Like, there's several ones that I've caught that answered all the questions, but their profile's funky. Like, you know, it's the same thing. Like, oh, I draw what you drive, or, you know, I'll draw anything, and they'll have, you know, obscure random art drawings all over the place. You know, the friends list might look a little funky. Just all these things, and you really have to be careful of what you let into groups. And if you're in a group, you have to really be careful of who's coming into the group. So, as I said, group pages, get your shit together. If you're some retired dude or somebody retired, or you're just at home all the time and you have nothing else to do and you're bored on Facebook and you decide to create a page just for fun, realize that there's a lot of people on there that are about to get scammed because you're too lazy to sit there and moderate a page correctly. I'm sorry to be a dick, but, you know, and that's on you guys. You know, I mean, people can sit there and say, well, Facebook, no, that's on the moderator, the admins and the moderators that are managing that page. That's on you. That's not Facebook. So get your shit together. Not my problem. Maybe because it hasn't happened to you yet. And that goes on both sides. You know, educating people on what to look for is probably going to be the most powerful tool that we can offer and that people can sit and listen to. That's why I'm making this video. You know, nobody's going to come in and just clean house between the meta platforms, or, you know, like everybody said, well, Elon will buy this and fix everything, you know. Fuck that. No, it's not going to happen. It doesn't matter what political aisle that you are on, one way or the other. It's just having the tools at your disposal, what to look for, educating other people, realizing that Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and all these people, like, they aren't going to fix the problems right away. Like, even though they seem like these big entities, they're just not. They have other concerns that are beyond, like, your own personal little issues. And in fact, it is a little issue to them, you know, but with our hubris and everything, we think that the world revolves around each of us, and it doesn't. So it's just the cold reality and how it is. So the better defense that you have, the more awareness that you have, you know, you can spot these things. And the most crucial part of this is taking time. We live in a society that is everything at our fingertips. And the mindset that has created is very frustrating, especially on the business side of things, because not only, you know, it sucks for us to hear that you're getting scammed, it also sucks when I have had several people posting on my legitimate business page calling me a scammer or complaining like I got scammed by so-and-so. And while I feel for you, I also, I don't know, like it sucks. But did you really take the time to vet these people? Did you take the time to look for these clues, these big red flags that everybody's talking about? Did you take that time? You need to slow down. You need to read. And as I said, for me personally, I have a website for a reason. I want you to go there. I want you to feel safe. I want you to take the time to read everything, because not only am I a busy person, I want to take the time to talk to you, but also I need to get work done. I have this for a reason. And I've heard the excuse of people like, well, I don't have time to take out of my day because I'm busy. Guess what? I'm busy too. And that's just reality of it. So that's why I have these things, so you can go through it and decide for yourself. As I keep saying, that makes my business appear more legitimate, because I'm taking the time, I'm spending the money to have that up for you. And one more thing, not that this is an excuse or it's in defense of people that are scamming, because I've found very little of it is taking place. They aren't here within the United States. There are a few, granted, not many that I've seen, but for the most part, like, a lot of this is coming from outside of the U.S. And even if it is coming within the U.S., here's the deal. We are in weird times right now, and there is an existence outside of your bubble, and then there's an existence outside of your whole area as well. The world doesn't revolve around the United States. It doesn't revolve around, British or Canada. It doesn't revolve around the UK. It doesn't revolve around Germany. Like, there's a whole ecosystem outside of those areas, and within those areas, people are experiencing different levels of desperation. They're experiencing different levels of desperation, and that's because they're not probably as privileged as we are here in the United States. You got to think about here in the U.S., your ability to get a job, keep a job, pay for things far outweighs other places of the world. And within those places, they are finding ways to try and provide for them, probably their families. Who knows? Is it right? No. Is it wrong? Yes. Is it desperate? Absolutely. You gotta think, if you're in their shoes, what would you do? I mean, it's very easy to say, well, I'd go get a job and I'd work. What if you don't have that ability in another country? I'm just saying. And it's not making you try to feel sorry for anybody, because that's not the case. But when we sit there and get, offended by, like, this is happening to me, and we get mad and we start, projecting it on everybody else, like people coming on and posting on my business page calling me a scammer, you gotta sit there and think, like, it's not me, it's somebody else, God knows where, and in a far worse situation than you or I are in. So there's just food for thought there. And again, I'm not, defending it by any means, but I also have the frame of mind to know that it's not that easy for everybody to sit there and pull up by the bootstraps, so to speak, because they're not in the same situation that we are here in the United States. So that's just my take on it. So I know that was long-winded, probably a lot to take in, but hopefully it helps. So hopefully it helps, you as potential customer to people like me. Hopefully it helps people like me doing what they do. If you found value in this, please like, comment, and subscribe. Even if you have anything to add to it on either end, I think this is something to have a conversation about. Just the tips and what to look out for, or your experiences. So that's all I've got for this time. Until next time.